Good morning, children. Welcome to chemistry session. In the last session, we had discussed regarding the acids, its chemical properties, and we commenced the topic of the bases. So, what are called bases? What do you say? Any substance which are sour taste. Okay, sorry, which are bitter in taste. Any substance which are bitter in taste, okay, is said to be called as a base. Which are sour in taste are called acids. So bitter in taste. And according to the perfect terminology, any substance which gives hydroxide ions. Any substance which gives the hydroxide ion. What is the formula of hydroxide ion? OH minus, okay, in presence of water. Hydroxide ion in the presence of water is called as a base. Okay, we gave the example. Let us continue regarding the topic of bases. So, what are the examples we are saying? The best example of a base we have is a NaOH. NaOH is the chemical name of NaOH is sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. So whenever the sodium hydroxide, to this sodium hydroxide we add a little bit of water, the sodium hydroxide will ionize and give rise to Na plus as well as OH minus ion. So it is giving OH minus. So which gives hydroxide ion is called as a base, we are saying. Next, if you take one more example, for like what I have, KOH. Okay, the name of this one is the potassium hydroxide. KOH is the potassium hydroxide. When KOH is also to the KOH, if you add a little bit of water, just you can add 1 to 2 droplets of water, it's sufficient. When you add the K to the water is added to the KOH also will dissociate and is giving rise to K plus as well as OH minus ion. So likewise, we have many examples which are giving OH minus ion in the presence of water. So those all are considered as which one? Bases. And coming to we are studying the general characters. What are the general characters of bases? General characteristics of bases. If we say the general characteristics of bases, the first one we say, the bases are, as we said, bases are bitter in taste. We say the first one, bases generally are bitter in taste. Obviously, we can't taste all the bases, but few of the compounds which we are using in our daily life, when we taste it, they are bitter in taste. Next one, the bases normally which are soluble in water. Bases exist in the state of the solid state, but these bases which are soluble in water, when we add water to that one and when you try to stir, the bases will dissolve in water. Like we have what happened, salt when it is added to water, we observe salt is completely dissolved in water and you will get a clear solution. Likewise, few of the bases are also clearly soluble in water. Such bases are normally called as what we can say alkalis. We use a word called as what? Alkali. So not only in this chapter, so in the upcoming chapter, anywhere you heard the word alkalis means nothing but bases. So alkalis are nothing but the bases which are soluble in water. The bases which are soluble in water are called as alkalis. So you keep in your mind, salt water is not an example of alkalis. What we observe is how we add, when you add salt to water, how the salt will dissolve in water and you get a clear solution. Likewise, the bases when you add to water, if they are dissolving and you get a clear solution, such bases are commonly called as what? Alkalis. Are called as alkalis. Next, the bases, they have the pH value greater than 7. The same point I said in the last class also. Okay, based on the pH value will distinguish a substance as an acid or a base. If the pH value is less than 7, those substances are called as acids. If the pH of the substance is greater than 7, it is called base. And the range of pH value is from 7.1 and extends to maximum value is 14. Okay, this is the one. Next, the bases normally are good electrolytes. We can use this one for different experimental purpose. Okay, to carry out reactions, to carry out the ions for passing of electricity. So we can use this one as a good electrolytes in the laboratory. So they are used as a good electrolytes, we can say. And we can able to, how do you identify a base? Immediate means we can identify the base by using litmus paper. Bases turns red litmus to blue. Red litmus to blue. And in the last class I have shown with a color also. If you take a red litmus, red litmus paper, if you touch this one onto a moist base, it will turn instant into blue color, we said. So these are the few characters of bases. So now coming to the classification of bases. So bases, many bases are there which we are using in daily life. I will give the examples and where do we use also I will give. So let us classify the bases. Bases are being classified into various categories. So first type of classification we say. So that we have is a classification of bases. The bases are being classified. We can classify them into three categories, we say. The first type of classification based on ionization. Classification based on ionization. So what is this ionization means? According to the definition, whenever we add a little bit of water to a base, the base will divide and give rest ion. So what the example I was saying is NaOH. If you add a little bit of water, the compound will divide and gives rise to Na plus and OH minus ion. Now what are the substance you are getting is ions. Okay, the process of getting ions is called ionization. So now here is the first one is based on ionization. Means if you are taking a base, if you add water to the base, will it is ionizing fastly or will it is ionizing slowly? If it is ionizing fastly, you will get the OH minus ions fast and more, you can say. If you are getting the if the ionization is slow, you may get less number of OH minus ion. So based on this one, based on ionization, we say the bases are of two types, we can say. The first one is called as strong bases. The other is called as the weak bases. Strong bases as well as the weak bases. So if you want to say the example, what are called strong bases means the bases which ionizes fastly. Okay, the bases which ionizes fastly. Okay, and gives more OH minus ions that are called as strong bases. Obviously we are saying theoretical like this. Suppose I give one base to you and I ask you to add water. If you add water, we can't see nothing with our eye. Okay, we can't see nothing with our eye. We are saying OH minus will be obtained, we are saying, but practically when you see, we can't see with our eye. This obtaining of OH minus, everything is being checked by means of some experimental process only. So the good example for the strong bases, what we take is, the best example is sodium hydroxide and second one is potassium hydroxide. So these are the good example of the bases. So what happens? How many NaOH if we take? Suppose I am taking the example of KOH. KOH, when the presence of water, it is divided to give rise to K plus and OH minus ion. How many KH molecules I took? One molecule. If I took one, you are getting the 1 K plus 1 OH minus. Okay, good. Suppose if I take 10 KOH molecules, according to the reaction, if 1 KOH gives 1 K plus 1 OH minus, if I take 10 KOH, how many I have to get? It will, if you get 10 KOH and 10 OH minus molecule. Okay, so you can see proportion. How many KOH molecules are there? According to this one, same number of OH molecules we are getting. 10 OH molecules if you are getting. So, like this, if you are getting more OH molecules, indicates all the molecules are ionizing and giving rise to more OH minus. That's why we are called as the bases which ionizes completely and fastly and gives more OH minus is called as a strong base. And coming to the second example, weak base. In the case of the weak base, the bases which ionizes slowly. Okay, the bases which ionizes slowly and gives less OH minus ions and gives less OH minus ion. Okay, those are called as weak bases. The best example for the weak base here is a NH4OH. NH4OH. The name of this one is called ammonium hydroxide. What is the name? Ammonium hydroxide. Suppose if you take ammonium hydroxide, NH4OH, it is in state of solid state. Suppose I am adding the water to it. How many I took? One molecule. If you add water, the NH4OH divide to give rise to NH4 plus and OH minus. So, if I took one molecule of NH4OH, it is getting, you are getting the one NH4 plus and one OH minus. As it is giving OH minus ion, it is called a base. Suppose in place of 1, I am taking 10 NH4OH, 10 molecule. So according to theoretically, if 1 is giving 1 OH, 10 I took, how many I have to get actually? 10. Okay, 10 you have to get 10 NH4 plus 10 OH minus. But practically when we check, here we are not getting 10, we are getting a molecule less than 10. You are getting either 5, 6 like this. Suppose you are getting like this. Here how many I took? 10. If 10 are divided, you have to get actually 10 molecule OH minus there. But here practically when you check, you are getting less. Why means the bases are ionizing slowly or they don't completely dissociate. They don't, all the molecule will not dissociate. Wherever they are, all molecules are not dissociating, obviously they will give less number of OH minus ion. Such are called as a weak base. The best example for this one is a good example, NH4OH. Next, second type of classification. Classification based on acidity. And remember this word acidity, the word I am saying. Actually, this word acidity is not given in our NCERT textbook here. But remember, sir, you are discussing bases now. Why you are using the word acidity? Okay, first understand the term. What is called acidity? If you know the acidity, automatically the understand you can say. Acidity means not regarding acid. Acidity is defined as the number of OH minus ions. Number of OH minus ions given by a base. Base will give OH minus, that's true. But the number of OH minus ions given by a base is given by the term called acidity. Remember the word acid is different, acidity is different. Okay, what do the term acidity indicates? It indicates the basic nature only. How many OH minus ions are giving? So that is called acidity. So based on in our general simple language we can say bases are giving OH minus ion. How many OH minus ions one base is giving? If I took one molecule of a base, how many OH ions it is giving? Is it give 1 OHR, 2 OHR, 3 OHR? How many it is giving? Based on that one, we classify them into different one. So always they have been classified into the as based on this one. They are monoacidic bases. Monoacidic. Remember, don't make yourself confused. Acidic here indicates number of OH minus ions. What it is giving? Number of OH minus ions given by a base is given by the term is called as what? Acidic nature. So monoacidic base. Mono means what? One. Okay, here we are saying acidic means it is giving OH minus ion. How many OH minus ion is giving by a base? One. Means a base which is able to give only one OH minus ions. Okay, one molecule of a base, if it is able to give only one OH minus ion, that are called as monoacidic bases. The best example for this one, what we have is NaOH. Now already I was saying NaOH is there. When NaOH is divided, it gives Na plus as well as how many OH you are getting? I am taking one molecule. How many OH it is giving? One only. So one base is giving one OH minus. That's called monoacidic base. Second one, if you take one more example, KOH. I am taking here, it divides to give K plus as well as OH minus. If I took one molecule of KOH, it is giving rise to how many OH it is giving? One only. So as it is giving one OH, it is also called as monoacidic base. Next one. Second one is called diacidic bases. Diacidic bases means one molecule of a base should give how many OH minus ion? Two OH minus ions it is give. Okay, I'll give the example of here. The best example, what happened? Calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. Have you covered the word calcium hydroxide? The formula. This formula already we come across in our chemical reaction, first chapter. And moreover, this is a calcium hydroxide, which is the one of the component we use for our whitewashing. Okay, in the olden days. Now everyone is using the paints, but in the olden days for the whitewashing of the houses, we used to use this one. So calcium hydroxide, how many I took? One molecule I took. If it is divided, it will divide to give rise to normally Ca plus 2 and it give rise to 2OH minus. You see, how many molecules I took? One. But after dissociating, how many OH it is giving? 2 it is giving. So one molecule of a base is giving the 2OH minus. So that's why it is called as diacidic base. Next, I'll give one more example to you. Magnesium hydroxide. MgOH taken there. Magnesium hydroxide. When magnesium hydroxide is dissociated, it also divided you Mg plus 2 as well as 2OH minus. You see here, how many molecules of magnesium hydroxide? 1. But after dissociating, how many you are getting? 2OH minus giving. One base is giving, one base molecule is giving 2OH minus. That's why it is called diacidic bases. Coming to the third one is called as a triacidic bases. Tri, the name itself is saying, okay, one base molecule should give how many OH? 3 OH it is giving. The best example for this one is AlOH taken thrice. Aluminium hydroxide. Whenever the aluminium hydroxide added to water, it divides to give Al plus 3 as well as 3 OH minus. You can see how many aluminium hydroxide molecule you took? 1. But after dissociating, how many OH it is giving? 3 it is giving. One molecule is giving 3 OH minus. That's why it is called as triacidic bases. Okay, you can remember these words, especially these words are terminology. What we can call this terminology is useful in many of the competitive examinations. And same you can use this terminology you use in the higher education also. Once again, acids, bases, etc. Once again you come across in the 11th standard. So in the higher education they mostly use monoacidic base, diacidic base, triacidic base is there. So try to remember this term. Okay, but don't make yourself confused. Okay, what is this acidity in the bases? Don't get confused. What is called acidity? Number of OH minus ion given by a base is called as acidity. Okay, so this is a second type of classification. Third one. The third type of classification is based on concentration. Based on the concentration. So based on concentration, the bases are being divided into two types. They are being divided into two categories. One is called as a normally concentrated bases or concentrated alkali. The second one is called as a diluted bases. Diluted bases or diluted alkalis. Both are same. So what is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of this concentrate? Means just to understand, just I am saying, you took one glass of water. Normally our drinking water, you can take one glass of water. In a one glass of water, if you are adding a 3 spoons of salt, normal our table salt, you are adding 3 spoons of table salt, okay, in a glass of water, and you are still. Okay, by seeing visually we can't see anything that it is a salt is dissolved. But when you drink, when you try to taste it, what we feel? We feel more salty. We immediately spit up. What it means that is having more salt in the water. More salt. That's why it is getting where its taste will also be different. Okay. Second condition. Same to a glass of water, you are adding a half spoon of salt. Half spoon of salt in glass of water, you are still. When you taste it, there also, second sample also, we can't identify that it is a salt water. When you drink, okay, we feel we can drink here because what the salt is less. Salt is less, water is more. Okay, so in the, why I am giving this to example is, in the first case, salt is more. Salt is more in quantity. Okay, more in quantity than required. Okay, and in the case of here, water is little bit less you are taking. Second example, in the case water is more and you have added a little bit of salt. How much salt I said? Half spoon or pinch of salt you are saying. So the meaning from that one we say what are called concentrated acids, concentrated alkalis means the substances or the bases which contain which have less water, dissolved in it, which is having less water dissolved in it, is having the normally is called as a concentrated bases. Second one case of diluted, in this cases the bases having more water dissolved in it. More water dissolved in it. Same thing. What we are, and to have an understanding, generally you take curd, and second one is buttermilk. Curd, in when you take the curd, packet curd, that one it exists in the semi-solid state, and that one water will be very less, and the curd quantity is more. It is having more concentration. Second one, buttermilk you take. Buttermilk in that one, curd quantity will be less, water quantity will be more. What happens? That's why the concentration of the buttermilk will be less. That's a diluted. Actually, remember this curd, buttermilk are not bases. Okay, they are acid compound. Based only for understanding, I am saying. Okay, one is concentration is more because water is less in the curd. Second one, in the buttermilk, curd is less, water is more. So it is the diluted. So likewise, the bases are being classified into three categories we say. So remember this terminology, it will be helpful for you. Next, coming to the next topic after the classification, let me give few examples of the bases. We are saying this example, we are saying many examples we come across in our daily life. Many bases we come across in daily life. Obviously, we don't know what happened. We don't identify this is a base, etc. So let me write few example of the bases where we are coming across in our daily life, etc. Suppose example we have is the NaOH. NaOH. What is called as? The name is called as sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide we say. This sodium hydroxide has one pet name. Okay, one has pet name. It is also called as caustic soda. NaOH is also called as what we call caustic soda. We may come across two words. One is baking soda, another is washing soda. Okay, two words there. This is the word caustic soda. It's a common name of NaOH. Okay, everyone can say, so where do we use this NaOH, etc. NaOH is mostly we use in the soaps. Okay, normally our soaps, we are bathing soaps, whatever you are using, mainly it is kind of, whatever may be the company, they use the manufacturing soaps, they use the base is the NaOH. And one more thing also they use is the KOH. The name of this KOH is called what? Potassium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide. So this also is being used in the manufacturing of which one? Soaps. Our bathing soap, what you can call as toilet soaps, we say. Okay, the soaps which are used for our bathing daily, whatever may be the company, it is X, Y, Z, whatever may be there, those generally in the terms of terminology, chemistry terminology, we call as toilet soaps. For the manufacturing of that soaps, we use the NaOH as well as the KOH. Next, we have one more thing is called CaOH taken twice. Okay, it is called calcium hydroxide. The name of the compound is called calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide in the liquid state we call as the normally in the liquid state. Calcium hydroxide in the liquid state we call as a lime water. This lime water, okay, in the liquid state we call as lime water. This lime water we use in our laboratory, and also calcium hydroxide. In the olden days, as we said, it is used for the whitewashing purpose. As we said, in the water pen, it is used in the laboratory, also in the whitewashing purpose. For the whitewashing purpose. As we said, nowadays everyone is using the paints, but in the olden days, still in the some villages and interior areas, for the whitewashing of this one, we use this one in the calcium hydroxide liquid state. And also, this calcium hydroxide, we can also use one in the preparation of, it is also used in preparation of bleaching powder. Everyone have heard the word, the bleaching powder we use for sanitation purpose, etc. Bleaching powder. For the preparation of bleaching powder, also we use this chemical, calcium hydroxide. Next, we have one more example, I'll give, magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide is having one common name. The common name of this is called milk of magnesium. Milk of magnesium is a common name of magnesium hydroxide. This milk of magnesium hydroxide we are using normally as antacid. We are using as a antacid. Do you know what is called antacid? Normally the substance which is used to reduce acidity. Sometimes when you have a burning sensation in the stomach, etc., we try to consume a powder. What we have commercially, we see the advertisement, what called Eno, gives relief in acidity, they will give the advertisement. So that such type of powders, normally it is having this one. Okay, milk of magnesium we say. Next one, it is also we have one more example, aluminium hydroxide. The aluminium hydroxide, this is normal also used for removing the stains. What happen? Removing the grease stains. If you want to remove the grease stains on a cloth, that also we can use the aluminum hydroxide. Likewise, these are the few examples there. And one more good example, I'll give one more best example. NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide. Ammonium hydroxide, it is used for glass cleaners. So now you are getting in the market commercially, what is this, for cleaning of glass you will get the liquid. Okay, what may be the company, for cleaning of glass items we will get the liquid, we say. So that glass cleaning liquid, to prepare that glass cleaning liquid, okay, the substance we use is the NH4, which ammonium hydroxide. So likewise, these are the few few uses of the bases. Why I am mentioning this example means, so in our daily life when we are using, you should know this is a substance, it is containing these bases. Okay, this is a substance, it is made up of this base. it is substance which it is made up of this. Like you should have an idea. Whenever we did not study the bases, no problem. But now we are going through this topic. That's why you should remember. Minimum you should be able to recall the topic. Here we are using this base. Here we are using this base. Here we are using this base. Like this. So these are the general common uses of the bases. So we have the next topic in this one is the chemical properties. Okay, we have the chemical properties of bases. Chemical properties of chemical reactions. So in the acids also we discuss few chemical reaction. Here also we will discuss few reactions here. First one is a reaction with metals. Reaction with metals. Bases can easily react with the metals. Bases, normally any of the base can react with the metals, okay, active metals, and converts into metal salts and releases hydrogen gas. Remember here, it also releases a gas is hydrogen gas. Acids also when react with the metal release a hydrogen gas. Bases also reacts with the metal to give rise to hydrogen gas. So let's give the one good example here. Base we are taking is sodium hydroxide. One of the metal I am taking is zinc. So this base it should be in the aqueous state. Remember, the base, original base are in state of the solid state. We try to dissolve in water and we take in the state of the aqueous state. Whenever this base is added to the, suppose you are taking one you're taking one conical flask. In that one you take some granules of zinc. First we try to take the granules of zinc. To this one you are pouring the NaOH liquid, and later on you keep a one delivery tube. You close this beaker and you try to keep a delivery tube. So account of reaction, when it reacts, it gives us to metal salt. Here we are getting the metal salt. Here is the Na2ZnO2. Okay. The name of this one is called sodium zincate. So the salt what we are getting is sodium zincate. Along with it releases the gas is hydrogen gas. As I said now, hydrogen gas, how do you identify hydrogen gas? Hydrogen gas is a colorless, odorless gas. Okay, we can't identify seeing that one, you can say. But after adding this one, this is a NaOH, after adding, within a 2 minutes or etc. after this one is there, we observe small bubbles coming on the surface of this liquid. Whenever any substance on any liquid, if you are getting small bubble, means this liquid is releasing some gas. Okay, and according to our reaction, if it is any gas, the gases always move towards top. They always move towards top. So if it is any other gas, it will move to this delivery tube and come out. And to cross, you can check that whether it is a hydrogen gas. First of that one, you take a matchstick and try to lit for that one. You try to expose to this one. What is this one? This is a matchstick. You have to lit the matchstick and expose. If you are lighting the matchstick and expose one, suppose if the gas is a hydrogen gas has a nature of intensifying the flame. Means everyone knows one matchstick, if you lit, how much flame you will get, you know. But if it is a hydrogen gas, the hydrogen gas will increase the flame to 10 times. Means if the 10 matchsticks are lit at a time, how much flame you are getting? That much flame it will increase. So it will intensify the flame. So based on the intensifying the flame, we say the gas is which one? Hydrogen gas. Okay. So this is one of the good example for the reaction with the metals. Okay. So in the next session, we will discuss some more chemical properties, and also we will discuss what is the common character between acids as well as the bases. Is there any common term between acids as well as bases? That will discuss in the next session. Okay. Thank you.